Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing the new Infiniti QX80. This particular one is an autograph. Now, before we get in this video, I want to mention a few things. First off, huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Infiniti here in Murray, Utah, for giving me some time with this QX80. They have a few of these available. If you're interested, or if you just want to see the new QX80, definitely give them a visit. Link to their website in the description down below. Link to my car buying guide as well. And then the last thing I want to mention, if you guys want me to review any other packages on the QX80, or if you want me to put together some comparisons, let me know what you want to see in the comment section. Let's get into it. Powering the QX80 is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that puts out 450 horsepower and then 516 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 19 on the highway. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you need some more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the front end, boy oh boy does this make a huge statement, and it's a massive departure from Infiniti's previous gen styling. There is a previous gen QX80 there in the background. I mean, this thing looks like it's from a completely different planet. So first off, look at how much they've changed the hood. There's a lot less happening when it comes to body lines, and then of course this crazy split light design. You can see the actual lighting cluster down below, and then the grille here is also just crazy. Look how intricate that is. But yeah, again, it looks like it's from the future. It's cool. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 50 by 22 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, they aren't a huge design departure for Infiniti, but I think they look really sharp with that silver there on the top. And then this does have adjustable suspension. That's why it's kind of tucked in right now. And then I love this design here with the fender. That looks really cool. And then you've got this nice painted accent piece here. And then you notice the mirror caps and the roof's all blacked out, kind of similar to what Range Rover does with a lot of their cars. We have pop-out door handles. You still have the fixed side steps here. And then actually says autograph there on the very back. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But if we take a few steps back, here's your full side profile. Again, somewhat, reminiscent of the previous gen, but still completely different if you ask me. And we also have a new key fob with this. So we've got our lock and unlock function, the remote start, we got the opening for the hatch, Infiniti logo there on the back as well. I think it's a pretty cool looking key fob. It's still lightweight though, which is nice. Now popping into the rear, this is similar in size to the standard Escalade or, like a Chevy Tahoe, for example. So you've got a decent amount of space behind the third row, but it's not massive. It's not, an extended version. And then notice we can raise and lower the rear end with the suspension here with those buttons. Again, similar to Range Rover. And then you can see with the seats you can raise and lower those as well, which is a pretty cool feature if you ask me. And aside from that, we've got an outlet there on the other side, but yeah, pretty normal cargo area. When you're all done, just press that and that will lower the hatch right back down. Look at this taillight design. I like how the signals are pretty small there inside. But yeah, giant light bar effect here on the back end. You can see Infiniti. I really like this four-wheel drive badge. Look at that. I don't know if it's gonna pop up on camera, but it's got it like in vertical font, which I don't know, that's pretty fun. But yeah, here is the rest of the rear of the new QX80. Now taking a look at the door panel, you can see we've got soft touch here at the top and extends across, and this is really cool with the design. Look at that. And then it's perforated down below, and then you've got the two-tone design right there. That's pretty cool with the window control. Speakers here for the sound system. And then here are the seats. Really pretty looking. They're power adjustable too, which is nice. So you can raise and lower them. That makes sense. Yeah, legroom back here is good. Got a little storage pocket here as well, and I'm gonna have to turn on the car for these things back here. Where were we? So, storage pocket here, and then you can see the climate controls down below. We got heated and ventilated seats for the rear passengers, and then you've got this little kind of cup holder tray, which is pretty cool. And then we've got this screen here in the back. Notice this controls the seats. You can adjust and everything, so just kind of another screen to do all that, which is fun. Center console here in the back too. And actually, like how this is integrated. I think it's funny, it kind of goes over the bottom of the screen. That is interesting. And of course, headroom back here. It does come down a bit with the sunroof, but it's still pretty good. Now I'm in the third row back here, and the floor is a little bit higher in the third row than it is in the second row, but my knees aren't pushed up in an awkward position, so I do fit back here just fine. And for some reason the heated seat's on back here. It's summertime, folks, but you got all your seat adjustments here. You've got a USB port here as well. Of course, we have our own window, and then we've got ventilation. The lighting's too bright to really see it, but we do have a vent up top here on either side, and then because you do sit higher, you are closer to the roof line back here, so just like most third rows, probably reserve it for kids. And then nice trim all down the center here. I love this coloration. Now taking a look at the front door panel, it's more of the same as what you have in the back, but we do have memory seat function here for the front, also blind spot monitoring for the mirrors, and then you can power fold in those mirrors. All the controls are in the normal spot for this. I'm actually interested to see the payload on this because it's a big full-size SUV. 1466, that's not bad for a luxury SUV. It's really good, actually. Speakers in the headrest, and then you can see there with the trim all down the seats. Massage seat function as well, and then there's nice trim all over the dash here. It's pretty cool looking. And then you got more practical controls for like the heads-up display, for example. Interesting, they put the brake down there. And look at the design on the pedals. That's pretty fun. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see it's got kind of more of a squared off design, especially right here in the center section. We've got paddle shifters here on the back, so you can shift the gears yourself if you so desire. Like there's nice stitching even around the airbag cover. It's pretty cool. The Infiniti logo there at the bottom. But yeah, practical controls like adaptive cruise control, voice command controls, all of that normal stuff. And then they still give you traditional stocks. So here is the center gauge cluster, and it's actually a touchscreen there on the side to change the screen brightness, which is interesting. But as for the gauge cluster itself, it's pretty straightforward with the use. That little dial on the right side is what you use to scroll through different bits of information on the vehicle itself. And I actually don't know if it changes with the drive mode, so I guess we'll see. Oh, so I guess it just lets you know what drive mode you're in right there, but doesn't really change the theme. Now this is a big SUV, so we do have a 360 camera system, which is always a nice feature to have. Makes parking a lot easier. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, this is the first screen. You guys will see another screen in just a moment. But really quick response time. It's easy to use. You have a shortcut bar there at the bottom. And I think they did a really good job with the design with how they've implemented this into the dash, where it looks like it's kind of more a part of the vehicle. And just with the general dash design, how it kind of flows there towards the end, I think that's really, I mean, look at the connection here with the two different trim types. It's cool. We do have some analog controls here for like the volume and tuner change and all that. And then this is the secondary screen, so this controls the drive modes, but then also the climate, and it is haptic feedback, so you gotta kind of like really press in with the buttons, but easy enough to use. And then you've got buttons here for the gear selector, and then you can see here for the suspension. And by the way, that's also in the mode select, where you can change the height with that. And then there's a little bit of storage behind it, which is pretty cool, if you ask me. And then there's more underneath the console as well. And see, phone charging pad inside there. Nice trim here on the top. This is pretty cool too, with all the stitching goes around. And then big center console. It is a cool box, which don't need to have that on right now, but it's a nice feature to have, refrigerator center console. And again, more nice trim here on the top. I'm guessing it just has a normal glove box, nothing crazy. The glove box is soft touch on the outside. And then we do have a camera rear view mirror. We've got a fancy headliner, very soft to the touch, and then a panoramic sunroof up top. So here's a window sticker for this QX80, and this is an Autograph, so it's the fully loaded version. And they pretty much lay all the standard equipment there, which everything is standard with this. You basically have destination and everything. But $112,795 is the total MSRP, so this is an increase from the previous gen when it comes to pricing, but see how it performs. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, heads-up display, both the mirrors. Throughout the rest of the rear. And gotta get used to button gear selectors. They are the future. At least in these luxury cars. Seems like more and more luxury automakers are going for them. So I've been waiting quite some time to review this. 2025 is going to be an exciting year for these full-size luxury SUVs because, you know, Infiniti was probably the most old school on the market because their, you know, previous gen QX80 was, you know, V8. You know, these are all still body on frame, but I mean, if you've been in the previous gen QX80, you know what I'm talking about. It was definitely the most old school, but that's why people loved it, because reliability is way better with that than the competition. Now what I'll say is good torque with this V6 right off the bat. Transmission's very quick, smooth too. Speaking of smooth, the ride quality is great. So just driving this for a little bit, you can definitely tell that they've gone at full force to attack Cadillac, because again, that is the segment leader with this. You know, the Navigator's a nice car. The Lexus LX 600 is also a nice car. But ultimately the Escalade, right, when you think of full-size luxury SUV in the US market, you think Escalade. And you just think GM products in general, right? The GMC Yukon's another one with that new Denali Ultimate. So yeah, they definitely have market domination. And you know, I haven't reviewed the new Cadillac, right, the 25 that's coming out, but I have reviewed the 24, and I'll say that this is, when you benchmark this against the 24, and if you guys want to see a comparison, I can do that. This is a better drive. It's smoother with the ride quality, the seat comforts. I would say, yeah, I'd say better with the seats. I mean, it's got massage function. You can get that in pretty much any luxury SUV, but still, it's nice. It's nice to have a massage. I want to see the damping of the train tracks. This will be very interesting. Oh, that's beautiful. And this is another set. I'm really impressed with what Infiniti's done here. The old QX80 drove very truck-like. This is more car-like. Oh yeah, they nailed it. Getting massage too. Not too shabby. This is a really nice drive. I'm interested to see how, you know, the power feels with this engine. I will say one thing, this little phone holder thing, every single time I reach over the screen, I put my arm on it and then it opens it up. Looks like that was a little bit of an oversight with the interior stuff here. We have a red light. Do they have a red light? Okay, no, they have a green light coming. I was like, someone's gonna be moving soon, and I don't want to be in the way. This is kind of a weird road over here. But yeah, this is smooth. This is nice. Okay, well, we've got it in sport mode here, so sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty dang cool, revving up. But yeah, it's got great power. And again, having a turbo engine like this at high elevation, this isn't super high, this is just over 4,000 feet, but you know, it's higher. It's nice. So I know some people miss the V8, right? That V8's a really characterful engine, but this new engine's got great power. And you know, Nissan, they've got a pretty good track record with engines, even turbo engines. Those GTR engines, I mean, people build those out like crazy. Obviously sometimes, you know, the builds have questionable reliability because they stuff way too much power in those. But the point I'm trying to make is Nissan knows how to build a twin turbo engine, especially a twin turbo V6. So, and what I'm saying, Nissan, Infiniti, same company. You guys get it. So, all together, the new QX80, this is a really nice SUV. And here's the thing is, you know, nowadays people like to just purely shop online, and there is a lot of benefits to that, right? You get to kind of weed cars out without having to spend too much time in the dealership. What I would say with the QX80 is I would just give it a chance in terms of go to the dealership, go and sit in one of these, take it for a test drive, because I think a lot of people are gonna be dogmatic about, right, Cadillac has such a big brand name. I think that people are gonna be dogmatic and be like, no, I won't even look at it. And so I would say go and just drive one, see what you think. And I think a lot of you will be surprised. I think you'll like it a lot more than you think you would have, because again, there's some big changes, and this drives really well. And one thing that I do like about the Japanese SUVs, and Infiniti and Nissan specifically, is the materials they use. These might not be as like fancy looking as what you get into in a Cadillac, but the thing is, this will look like this after 50,000 miles, after 100,000 miles. The materials they use are a lot more durable long term, whereas you get into like an Escalade with 10-20,000 miles and you can see the wear and tear everywhere. Like, it really shows it. So that's just something else to consider. So let me know your thoughts.